Hello dear students, my name is Arun and today we are going to start chapter number 1 of class 9 in the physics, that's name is motion. You are here right? So we are starting chapter motion. In Hindi, this is called Gati. My students, let's talk about motion. So basically, motion means the change of position according to the time. If anywhere, anything, any body, if change its position, it's moving from one point to another point, then this thing is called motion. Let's look at one definition about it. So, when a body change its position with respect to time. What time? That means if suppose at 10 o'clock one body is at position A. After that it goes to position B at 11 o'clock. That means in total of 1 hour, the body change its position goes from point A to point B. So that's why this point is called motion. But there is a one contradiction. So let's discuss about it. So my dear students, let's take an example here. Just suppose in your mind, okay? There is a bus station, buses standing in there, two persons, A and B. Let me take example here. There is a bus in which two persons are sitting. This is person A, this is person B. And both faces are at each other and one person C is selling some fruits in the market. That is outside the bus. So, let's suppose the bus is here. Bus is stopping at the bus stop and here at this time. Let's suppose A can see B and B is looking at A. And both can look C and C can look at the boat. But here the point is. So, here two things. If you are moving, you are in motion. If you are not moving, then you are rest. So, according to C, both A and B are rest because they are just sitting in front of him. And according to A and B, C is also rest because he is just standing outside the bus. And according to A and B, both are sitting and both are at rest. Let's suppose now bus started from here and goes this side. So my students, now bus is moving. So in the moving bus, both A and B are there. And now the bus has passed away from here. This man is at its initial position, stop state, and this bus is now moving in a particular direction. So now let's talk about it. So when C is the person will look at A and B. He will call that A and B are moving. So A and B are in motion. But here is a contradiction. What? A is sitting in front of B. A is sitting in front of B. So B will say that A was sitting already by the time before and after. A is also sitting. So according to the B, A is sitting. So A is at rest. And according to A also, the person number B also at rest. So at this point, the contradiction is that if we take example of C, उसके according with respect to C, A and B are moving. A and B are in motion. But according to A and B, both are at rest. So A and B are at rest or at motion. Here is the contradiction. So for this, we have another definition about rest and motion. My students, this is a definition, and at this definition, all type of which is rest, which is motion, just less quick. So first of rest. When a body does not change its position with respect to stationary object taken as a reference point, it is called rest. My students, that means if a body does not change its position, body does not change its position, but with respect to, we have not taken here the time, we have taken here as stationary object taken as reference point. So what is reference point? So suppose here is a point person A and here is a one pillar, we can say. So A will check its position, motion or rest according to this pillar. So for this pillar is called a. So what is rest? My students, listen carefully. Rest, here a new definition comes in the market, in the frame, that is when a body does not change its position but with the respect to the stationary object taken as reference point. So I have talked about already what is reference point, clear? So here, when the body does not change its position, that means it will remain at the exact position with the respect to reference point. So according to that reference point, if the body is not changing its position, it will call at always rest. At the previous example in the bus, when the bus was stopped, so according to person C, A and B both were at rest. Same, and according to A, B was at rest, and according to B, A was at rest. So we are there the take according. According means reference point. And when we talk about motion, body motion, when a body change its position, when a body will change like from here to here, but not with the time, with the stationary object taken as reference point. With the reference point. That means according to reference point, according to this reference point, if this body is changing its position, that will be called at motion. If does not, then it will be called at rest. But all the thing will be calculated or understanding by this reference point. Clear? So according to reference point, we will see that the body is at rest or motion. Let's take an example. When the bus was moving, so according to C, because if we take reference point of C, then we can say A and B both are in bus and both are moving, both are in motion. But if we change the reference point, if we take according to A, so B was already sitting when the bus stopped, and B is now also sitting when the bus is moving. So according to B, if we take reference point at A, then B was moving. B was moving? No. Listen carefully. If we take reference point at A was, so B was at rest that time and B is rest at also time. But according to point C, A and B both are in motion. So A and B at that point time they are rest, but at that point time, same time they are at motion also. Clear? So next point we will talk about here, that is, my dear students, distance and displacement. Okay? So now we will talk first that what is distance and what is displacement. My dear students, in this chapter, these are some basic concepts and you have to understand these all carefully. Because if you can understand these concepts, then the chapter is very easier for you. Okay? So let's talk about what is distance. So student, there is a one beautiful definition for it. That what is distance? So my dear students, the length of path. What is length of path? That means if a body moving from A to B, that means this path has a length. So the length of path covered by a moving body is called distance. So my dear students, their definition of what? Distance. That the length of path covered by a moving body, it is called distance, and most of them it is a scalar quantity. This point you have in your mind. You have in your mind. What it is a scalar? What is scalar quantity? Listen. Quantity are basically two types. One is scalar, one is vector. In scalar, only magnitude is mandatory, but in the vector quantity, magnitude and direction both are required to find your correct answer. And if we talk about its SI unit, my dear students, its SI unit is meter. Okay? What is SI unit, bachcho? Its SI unit is meter. And if we now talk about, we have already discussed what is the length of path. That means if a body moving from a path, so what is covered distance? The covered distance is the length of path. It is covered. The length of path will be called its distance. But displacement. So the shortest distance. The shortest distance between initial and final position is called, my dear students, displacement. Okay, and most of the important point that it is a vector quantity. That means to find its answer, we have to also find that what is the direction. And the last point, its SI unit is none other than M for meter. Okay? What is distance? The length of path covered by a body is called distance. What is displacement? Listen carefully with this example. Let's take an example. If there is a point A and there is a point B. If we want to go from A to B, but the path between A and B is like this. Okay? So there is a path between A and B like this. Okay? So what is distance? The total length of this path will be considered as distance. What? The total length of this path will be considered distance. But when we talk about displacement, just simple, what? The shortest distance. That means shortcut. Okay? Shortest distance between point A and point B. So if we want to from A to B, what is shortest gap? The shortest gap is just go directly. So this shortcut, this shortest length between these points, this will call as displacement. I hope you understand this concept. We will talk in the next video other concept of this chapter. Okay? So thank you for it. Let's meet another in the class. Jai Hind.